Good morning. Hi all. So I'm back. Gonna do a little more kijimi build today. From the Black Corporation, which is a crazy poly synthesizer. Okay. Let's take a look at it. I'm gonna minimize that. I don't know why that's showing up. Okay. We'll go over here. So this is what we're building. It is a 8-voice polysynth. I'm actually working on the hardware board, it's called, which is what you're looking at now. It's kind of the face plate with all the knobs and buttons and things. I did do just a tiny bit of work off stream, which was just to put in a capacitor and 2 diodes. I haven't soldered them yet. I think we'll solder those on stream. Maybe I'll use the microscope. I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. I want to just do it the old-fashioned way with the goggles because it's easier, but I should practice the microscope so it's easier to do the surface mount stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do the capacitor and the 2 diodes, and then I'm gonna just start looking at things like the LEDs and the OLED screen. I think those are the last components. I have to resolder in the buttons and align the faceplate from that problem I was talking about. So I have to do that as well, but I think what I want to do is kind of get the LEDs and the OLED display kind of in there in the right positions as well, and maybe solder those in first. I'm not sure yet what's going to be the order. So it's going to be a lot of probably boring staring at me, kind of aligning buttons and things and going back and forth and not sure what to do yet. The only other thing that I'm not sure about is there is a power switch that goes into kind of the faceplate cover, and I'm not sure how that. It's just raw connections on the back. I guess I have to solder wires on to someplace else or plug them into some of the other boards that I have. Actually, might be able to figure that out in a bit. Anyway, I remember seeing red kind of plastic leads. I think those are, you meant to kind of plug the wires into them. Not sure. I don't know if they need solders or if they're kind of solderless and you just kind of push them in there, the exposed wire, and it kind of connects. I don't know yet. That's what I'm guessing. And then there's that headphone jack. I can't remember seeing a headphone jack in the box. I gotta look around again. My guess is it's in there somewhere, and I'm not really sure where that terminates as well. There's like a breakout on the board, on the circuit board behind the faceplate, so it doesn't connect to to the hardware board. At least, like into the hardware board. The wires may run to it somewhere, but I haven't seen them. I don't know. Those are the 2 kind of mysteries there. But otherwise, let's go ahead and do some of this. So I'm gonna switch cameras and head over to the workbench, and we'll work there. Okay, I'm at the workbench now, kind of migrating my stuff over there. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh boy. All right, yeah, that looks good. So maybe I'll practice this microscope a bit to show you what I've been doing. What I did this morning, before I streamed, was, let me get this over here. And let's try switching these views up. Where's my mouse? Oh wait. Oh yeah. Can I get over there? Yeah. Microscope. There we go. I'll go to this view so I'm in there. Okay, so this is the back side of the board. I already put the capacitors on the left and the two diodes are on the right. I already put them through. I just need to solder them up now. And you know what I noticed yesterday is the focus on cam was a bit blurry, and I think it is now too. I'm gonna try to get that a little better. What happens is up on the microscope here, you can't see it well. Here, maybe I can switch back to the main cam, but there is a diopter connected to the camera before it mounts to the microscope here. And when you rotate that, it controls the focus of the camera, and then I'm also controlling my own focus through the objectives here. And it is a little, what do I want to say? They're a little different. And I'm across the room from the monitor, so sometimes it's quite hard to see what exactly is in focus on cam. And then when I change my focal length, it may change the focus for the camera, etc. So sometimes they're decoupled a little bit. If I'm within a certain range, the focal length is fine. But there we go. Okay, it looks great through this microscope. Really happy with this polarizer and such. It looks great. Okay, I'm gonna try to solder this thing up. I am gonna tin the tip of my soldering iron. I just turned my soldering iron on. It's going to be a little bit loud for a bit because I'm going to turn on the fan too. Boy, I really hate breathing this stuff. I have been, by the way, using this thing. It is a just a little component tester, and if you put your component in here and lock it down and then press the button somewhere, here my finger's on it actually, the screen comes on and it'll actually like detect to most things and just tell you kind of information about it. So it's nice, like if you know, I never remember the resistor ring thing and all that stuff and have to look up the little chart because I don't do it like every day. So I just stick a resistor in there, it'll tell you, you know, what the value of the resistor is. It's a good way to kind of test to see if your resistors are actually being manufactured well too, because you can tell whether, you know, as long as this thing is calibrated well, but you can kind of tell if it's actually in range of what they say it is, you know, in terms of like the percentage error and all that stuff. At any rate, I used that this morning to kind of test the diodes and the capacitor that I'm putting in here to just kind of make sure it's the right stuff, because it's been a while since I did this. Okay, so my thing, I'm going to use a little tip tinner here and tin the tip of my soldering iron, because yesterday it was quite dirty and nasty, and it just was awful. So I'm going to hold my microscope up, or my tip under here now. I did tin it with this stuff. It still looks terrible under the microscope, but to the naked eye, it looks great. So, I don't know. I'm going to assume that's okay. Tin that up. Oh boy, it already reeks. I'm going to turn this fan on. It's going to be noisy for a while. Grab my solder here. Now I'm going to tin the tip with some solder as well. Okay, and then we're going to see if we can go ahead and solder these through the microscope instead of using the head thing. Hate wearing the head thing anyway, especially with headphones, but soldering through the microscope is definitely weird. I'm like totally not used to the whole like offset thing using the microscope. It really is throwing me for a loop, so we'll see It's going to be kind of I should have just tested this stuff on test runs rather than do this on a live board, but I'm impatient. Okay, I'm in range there. Maybe I should be using flux as well, but I never used flux in the past to just do some basic solders, and it always seems to turn out well. So I'm going to try to skip that this time too. Boy, doing this with the microscope is so difficult. I'm definitely heating things much longer than I normally would, and getting like these weird cold bridges or whatever. Like, I can't see it. I mean, I can see it through the microscope. I see what's going on, but it's actually kind of weird because it's dead. You know, it's straight up and down, and I'm used to actually seeing it through the visor, kind of closer up to it. This just feels just so awkward and so weird. I hope this gets, I mean, I'm sure it will, but I really hope it gets easier as I go here. Like that, I keep just getting like, I don't know why it's bridging to the, just sticking to the thing. That never happens to me normally. And it seems to be taking just fucking forever to melt. I don't know why. There. But I feel like I'm having to kill it, both heat-wise and my time on. Okay, there. That was a little bit better solder. Maybe it's just my tips getting back in shape because I'm using it as well. So those weren't pretty, but they're done. They worked. I'm gonna go ahead and trim those off. I actually don't know if I'm supposed to be kind of like regularly. Sorry, I had a little Q-tip there. I don't know where it went. I don't know if I'm regularly supposed to, you know, be cleaning this flux off. If most people do, just the flux that came out of the solder. I mean, I actually never do. I actually tend to cut my leads off like really close too. I also don't know if that's technically proper. I see it, you know, some people leave like a little wire sticking out, more like one of these other ones over here. Like that one maybe, there was a little bit of wire coming out or something. I was just kind of cut them off flush. And I usually just leave that flux on there. I can see some of the other solders I've done in the past. Here, let me see if I can I focus this? Maybe I can get like down like this and get in as close as I can. I guess that's just, this can't be as close as I can get with this rig. I thought I could get closer. Maybe I need like a diopter or something. But at any rate, you can see the stuff beside here, like some of these older ones, if I can get my finger in here somewhere, like that one. It looks like it's oxidizing on the surface of the solder a bit. I did these probably, 6 months, a year ago at least. And they don't look too bad, but they also look, it does look like it's, what do I want to say? It looks like it's oxidized on the surface a bit. The flux doesn't look bad around it. It just kind of staying there. It's a little goopy, but they look fine. So, I don't know. I'm always mixed. I feel like if I clean that flux up, it's just going to spread all over the board. Definitely some of these are super ugly, these resistors, these surface mount resistors I did. Those look terrible. I think they're going to be fine, but they look just awful. Not only are they crooked, but like the solder looks crusty on there. I don't know if that's just normal, but like a lot of these, if you look at like this whole line, they're soldered well and there's not too much flux around, but well, there's like that little piece there. There, got that off. But you know, I never know. Ooh, it's still just bumping around on the board. There we go. But I don't know how, if that crustiness is like that bad or not. I'm gonna assume no, but I just don't know. So now those are in. Let's flip this over and look at what I actually put in, if I can find them now. Oh, where the heck are they? Where'd I put them? They were the diodes. I think they were Schottky diodes and a capacitor. And of course, I don't even know where the heck I just did those. Where were they? They were kind of in the middle of the board, but I'm just like completely spacing and I can't even see them. Where the heck were they? Why does this seem so difficult? Wow, I'm really terrible. Maybe I do it this way and figure out where I just soldered. Somewhere there. Oh, there it is. I'm right on it. So it was right here, I believe. And I'm going to try to focus in on this again. I haven't actually been looking at the camera, the actual microscope camera, so hopefully it's not too awful. The crop is way more. I tried to get one with a wider, meaning that it matches more what I'm seeing in my field of view. What I'm seeing in my field of view in the microscope is much, much, much wider than what this diopter for the camera is showing, which kind of sucks. Online, I saw a guy, he used the 0.35 diopter, and it gave him almost a 1-to-1 ratio of what he was seeing to what he was viewing. But my 3.5, I don't know if it was screwed up. You know, I ordered cheap stuff off AliExpress. Well, not that cheap, but I ordered stuff off AliExpress, and my 0.35, when you zoom it to kind of get 1-to-1 and it's in focus, the diopter like shifts the optics inside. I think they're just cheap, and you can see like the edge of the optic and stuff. It looks terrible. Of course, the people that I ordered from said, oh, that's the wrong diopter. You have to use the 0.5, which I'm using now, which doesn't have that problem. I mean, you don't see the edges, but it's a huge crop. I mean, I'm losing more than half of the view through the diopter, which is okay with me. I mean, whatever, it still works. I mean, the quality is quite good from this microscope. I'm happy with that. But I do wish the crop was a little less. So there you go. Okay, so what are we going to do now? So I got those three. So what I just put in were these three. I put in this capacitor and these two diodes. So those are complete. Those were missing from the SynthCube package, I think, that I ordered, and they resent those to me. So those are in. Okay, so now back to the front here. All these buttons, like I said, these buttons are just kind of sitting in here. These will actually kind of pop out if I keep messing with them. Which is because I have to do the faceplate alignment. So I guess what I'm considering now, like I said, is I have to put in these LEDs that are in these two rows, and I have to put in this, the screen. The screen's a little tricky. I know you got to get the power and ground, and it might have to cross over. I'm not sure the leads. I'm kind of thinking first order of business is maybe to here. I brought this laptop over here So I could so I could pull up a picture and make sure I get my buttons back on there in the actual correct order, because what I think I'm going to do is pop all of these out to do the next parts, and then I'm going to have to put these all back in when we actually are going to do this. But what I'm going to try to do is put these in order somewhere, maybe over here. So I'll be right back. I'm going to put these in order the way I take them out, so it's a little bit easier to put them back in. And what I'll do is I'll switch over to the main cam while we do this. Okay, so I'm going to align these buttons that I'm all popping out and try to keep them in the same order so it's a little easier. I have the visual reference from the online, but you know, here, I'm going to kill this fan while we do this too. Be right back. Okay, so let's take these over. And again, I'm going to pop these out. Keep these in the right order. Ah, they're sticky. They're sticking to my fingers. My fingers are sticky. I don't know. Trying to lay these out like how it looks on the board, at least roughly, in the groupings they're in, so I know what goes where. Because a lot of them are the same in certain groups, but then it gets tricky because they will change. Some have one LED in them. Some have a red. Some just have a red LED inside. Some have a red and green. Some have no LEDs inside. And things like that. So gotta make sure you keep these things in order, because it's gonna suck if I already had to desolder these. I don't want to have to desolder them again if I get if I'm stupid and put the wrong button back in and don't pay attention and reverse one and it's the wrong button in that hole. That'll really suck. Okay. So there we go. Those are all kind of laid back out here in order. Okay, now we have our kind of bare board again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, good. Let's see here. Does that? I see some comment in the things. I don't know, something tech. Yeah, it's tech. I'm building a kijimi 8-voice poly synthesizer. So I'm working on the main hardware board right now, which basically has all the buttons and stuff. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start... I think the next thing that feels right is to start laying out these LEDs, because I think all I have left are the LEDs and the screen, and then putting, making sure that all fits right with the faceplate over here, and then putting back in, I think the way I had to do this last time is you have to put the faceplate on, and then I'm going to have to put the buttons in so they fit well and solder those in last. And then, like I said, over here there's a breakout, which is a bit off camera, for that headphone and power button. I don't think we have to worry about that one so much. So I think what I'm worried about now is just getting these LEDs and the screen on there correctly. These are a little tricky because LEDs are, they have, I don't know if these have a flat edge like most. Let me see with this thing. Yeah, these don't even have a flat edge. which makes it a little harder. But the long leg, I believe, is negative. I always get confused by that, so just before I solder, I'm going to LED. I just want to look up online just to be absolutely positive. I think the negative is the long, the anode's short. No, I'm wrong. Okay, I always get these mixed up. Good thing I looked. The positive is the short side. I mean the long side. Keep saying that. Wrong. So the positive is the long side. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So is that correct? Positive is long, I believe. Negative is short, but I want to see for sure. Yeah, positive anode is long. Okay, so, and then I always forget. So the flat side is the negative because let me switch over to our microscope view. Here, hold on a second. Right back. To say. Yeah, somebody's saying you'd solder one pin before doing all the pins. Yep. Yeah, the faceplate thing I've already screwed up once. Correct. What happened is I actually, when I was building this, I was doing it 6-8 hours a day, and I was cruising through. Like I built all most of the rest of the boards, and I came to this board, and it was in nighttime, and I did a bunch of it, and I stuck all the pots and the buttons on here and just aligned them to the circuit board and soldered them all in, and then the damn faceplate didn't fit. So I have desoldered them. They're still a little tight. I don't have to desolder all the pots, but it's a bit tight. So what I'm going to do is get all this stuff kind of aligned in there and get it in, and then I can finesse the switches, the buttons back in there, and it does fit, but it's all a bit tricky now. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, so let's see. Cathode is the flat, short, negative side. So short is negative, and I'm looking at the little diagrams on here. Let's go back to the microscope view. This one. Let's go here. And it's not on this at all. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at through the scope. It's out of focus for you guys. There. So I'm looking at these. So I'm going to have to put the short on the flat side because the short's negative. Okay, and the tricky part with these LEDs is that they have to come up and meet this faceplate wherever this is going to sit. The pots have it sit off the board. So this is going to be a bit tricky because I got to put all these in and then make sure that they come up through the board to, it's hard to see on here. I don't know if they're going to have to stick up a certain amount like this to fit flush with the board once it's on. So that's the tricky part of this. That's why I'm just going really slow now and making sure I get this right this time. Hopefully. There we go. So this thing is going in here. If I can get it in there. Partly I'm blind now too. I need glasses for everything. I hate using those that head, goggle loop thing. But I may have to if I need to. But I'm trying to be really careful about making sure I get these the right polarity, the negative side, the short side in there correctly. And those are I think what I want to do is set this up on some kind of boost this up here. Let's use these boxes. I can put one here and one here so we can have this thing sit up. That's going to screw up the microscope, but let's see. Can I get these in? I can go up. That's about right. So you guys could see that. That focused. Boy, focus is tricky. Okay, not bad. What are you guys seeing? Oh, you're still way out up here. Let's get this in. Not bad. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Getting those in there. Now I got to do the other side. So this is the main board. If I can actually finish this one soon, then all the other boards are finished except for the voice cards. And there's 8 of them because there's 8 voices. And that's what I'll be building next, is all 8 voice cards. The only tricky bit about those, it does have some surface mount resistors. Those aren't too bad. I mean, the package is a bit small, but those aren't super bad. What's bad is it has some really fine pitch, circuits, ICs that need to be soldered on. And that's, hopefully this microscope will make that easier. I'm going to try drag soldering them, but that is a bit worrying, that aspect. Okay, so these are on here now. Got those on. Now the next thing is going to be this faceplate. And the other part is this, here, I'm going to switch back here for right now. There's not much to see through the microscope. Okay. The other part that I'm worried about is, so these LEDs are on there now. I don't know if you can see them. Yep. The other part is the OLED. And I know this is a bit finicky and tricky in terms of the connections. I mean, because it just has 4, obviously there's the 2 data lines and then, positive and negative power. But what I saw in one of the pictures on the build group, that it was tricky getting one of them, it looked like the wires had to be reversed. And I think you got to use, shielded wire, and you can't touch them and they have to cross over or something. I don't know why. I think they messed up the order on the board or something along those lines. So I am going to have to figure that out. And the height of this thing is a little tricky again too, because they have this plastic, like acrylic thing that's going to go in the faceplate and get screwed in somehow. I don't even know how that screws in. There's no screw there. So I'm not sure how this goes. They have screws in here. There's no screw holes in the acrylic. And there are screw holes in here, but these are way too big for those. These look like 3 millimeter-ish. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. I do see, like I said, on the board here, it's just flush though. There's no screw holes. I don't know if you have to solder this just so it's going to stand off. I think there may be standoffs involved or something. This is going to be a bit trickier than I thought. I think I'm going to have to go offline and sort this out because I have no idea how that monitor is going to sit. The only thing I can think is there's some kind of standoffs in the boxes, and there's going to be a standoff. But I'm going to have to kind of dig through the forums and figure out how that whole thing is going. But maybe what I can do while I'm still on stream is put the faceplate on with the LEDs in there and get them to the right height, and then solder those guys in, and then I'll be able to take my faceplate off and finish the monitor later. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to try that out. So I'm going to put this thing on now, put the faceplate. Oh, those look almost good where they're at. Okay. I'm going to push this on. Good. Okay, there. Like I said, they're a little tight because I screwed this up first time around, but it does go through fine. Okay, there we go. These guys are all on. There we go. So this is the faceplate. The LEDs actually look pretty good where they're at. I'm going to push them through and I think I want them to be kind of as exposed as possible. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of push on the backs here so they come up the and are flush with the board. Because they look like almost perfect right where they're at. Which is great. And then I'm also gonna like triple check that all my short ends are on the right on the backside here, so we're not going to have any issues there. Those look great though. I think I could solder those exactly how they are, and those are going to look perfect. Good. So yeah, so I made sure all the pots are flush here, the faceplate, and all those LEDs look great. So I'm going to flip this over and get these boxes out of the way because we can just put this down. Great, there we go. Now what I can also do is, these and the microscope's kind of lined up right where we need it to be. Oh no, these weren't all the way through, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Here, let's see. I'm going to push these all the way flush and see how these look from the other end. I thought I had them completely like out as far as they could go, but I didn't. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks great. They are, I want them to be as far as they can go in there, I think. Come out. I don't want them to be like as flush as possible. I want them to kind of stick out. Okay, great. That's what I'm going to do. And then if I do that anyway, it will keep them all exactly aligned. I'm going to make sure all my pots are flush and then do this. There. And now those are all the way kind of as far out as they can be on the front side plate. Okay, those look great. I think I saw something in chat. Sorry, I don't have chat in front of me. I'm across the room. So let's see, what's this say? Those voice card TSOP 20 pin ICs on Chip Quick sells a solder paste stencil that should work. Yes. So yeah. Okay. So here's the deal with the I know about like the solder paste. I have a hot air rework station as well. I've watched a million tutorials online, and I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, I don't have an oven. I think ideally it would be nice to have like an oven and not an oven, but a hot plate, and kind of get the board up to temperature, and then have it stenciled, and then maybe just hot air it. It's still a consideration because I do have the hot air. I did buy some syringe paste, so I could kind of just eye it because I mean they're only like so many pins or whatever, like 10, 20 pins, and just kind of just give a little dab and then tweezer it in and then maybe just hot air it. That's one consideration. I ended up buying some hoof tip, I don't know, not bits, but hoof tip ends for my soldering iron, and they have kind of a little concave reservoir in there that holds a little paste, or not paste, solder. And I've been watching a lot of videos. So here's what I'm going to do is I have the voice card version 1s. I am going to use the version 2 voice cards. But what I think I'm going to do is practice with some of the version 1 chips, because the chips changed as well, the ICs. So I have some, kind of those, mount boards, the practice ones. So I'm going to use those and the hoof tip, and I'm going to practice on the old voice card chips and just kind of get my chops and, see how that goes. And if I'm having a, total crap time doing the kind of drag soldering with the new hoof tip and all that, then I may experiment and do some of the paste, and then also use the hot air on some of the, spare chips, and just see which one feels right. If I can get away with the drag and doing it one by one or something, I think I'll go that route. And if I can't, then I'm going to go the, hot air rework and see which one. and then hopefully I'll kind of get it under control with the old chips, and figure out a method that works, experimenting first before I graduate to go into the real cards. Because the last time I'd done a ton of soldering before this, and so that I'm comfortable with that. But just trying the drag soldering for the first time, I thought I could probably just pull it off. Boy, it was rough. So and especially without a microscope, I didn't have a microscope. I just had like the head loop thing, which is great. But my eyes are also getting bad now too, so that's why I ended up just getting the microscope. But what I'm finding, even just doing these like LEDs and things under here, man, it's a whole nother learning game of like the whole offset and looking through the lens and all that stuff. It's tough. So it's kind of a learning curve here, so it's good. I'm kind of trying to practice on these LEDs. My solders are looking like shit because I can't do anything well because I'm just kind of figuring it out. But yeah, hopefully it'll be kind of good practice, and then I'll be able to practice on those other chips and get the board going. So there we go. I see somebody wrote something else. Here, let's see. So let's see. Hot plate works great. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I mean, God, it's like this stuff is like a money hole, right? I mean, it's just there's one piece of gear after the other. I was researching hot plates. I definitely would like to do that. I would love to have a full kind of reflow oven that you could put curves into and kind of ramp it up and ramp it down, like legit wise. They get pretty pricey, all that kind of stuff. We'll see. I don't know. I think this is going to work out. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's try to go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn on this loud fan again, and I'm going to go for this and just solder some of these LEDs in. Here, let me check real quick with this. Make sure all my short ends are where they should be. It looks like it. I think we're okay. It gets distracting streaming and doing this stuff. It's so detail oriented. I end up just wanting to talk, and then I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, which is kind of how I screwed up the faceplates to begin with. So here we go. So I think this is all flush, and I think these are kind of sticking out as far as they can in the front. Keep them all uniform. I'm going to go for this. This solder seems kind of thick for this. I do have some thinner stuff, but I'm going to try this out. Just tin this guy up good. I haven't used this iron in quite a while now, so it was kind of crusty. I re-tinned it this morning, but it's still a bit rough. It's just not, and I'm also probably not in the groove I was when I was doing this like 24/7. There, get that big thing off there. Okay. Boy, this is tough too because the microscope's up higher than I want right now. So move this over. I don't have you guys on microscope yet. Let's do that. Maybe it'll be a little bit more fun. Okay, there we go, but this is like extremely out of focus for you guys. Oh, there. That's not bad. Yeah. Well, is that right? Oh no. You guys are like way out on this camera here. Yeah. There's definitely a translation between what you see and what I see through the diopter here. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, I need to get this so I can see the well though, because I'm the one soldering. So I'm gonna go there. That's great. Now that's good for me. What's good for you? Oh, it's not bad for you either. I think that's about right. Okay. Boy, this is so weird. Even to get my soldering iron into position is kind of tough. Okay, there, good. Not bad. There, good. A little heavy. Well, I'm staying a little too long on here. It's tough. I think I'm gonna cut these as I go because they are getting in the way. Man, the translation through the lens here is super weird, right? Okay, I didn't get this one fully. Hope I'm not overheating my LEDs. I did have coffee this morning. Probably not the best choice. See how this goes. My God, like using the like I said, using the microscope is a whole new learning curve ball game. It is so weird for me right now. I don't know why. It totally, completely destroys your brain's normal, whatever you got accustomed to before. It's all gone. Okay. Boy, I keep getting a big pull on my it's definitely wanting to transfer to the iron more than the thing. I also think I'm holding my solder a little high because I can't see right through the microscope. So that's a little weird too. Getting used to that. But it is going. Again, if you guys are commenting on chat, I can't really see very much right now because it's on the other screen. But I'll look in a second here. See if I can get through these though. Okay. Keep hitting these wires again. There, get rid of those. One more. That fan's kind of like on and annoying, but it's really kind of too far to be of any use, so I don't know if that's really helping me at all. Boy, that was a nasty big glob. Anyway, good enough. Let's see. Let's go over here. Make sure these are all kind of tamped down. Okay, there we go. Kind of touching that other wire, hoping I'm not reflowing it on the other side. I gotta remember to keep cutting these. Okay, there we go. Moving along nicely. Praying that I don't have any reversed. I don't think I do. Checked a couple times. Seemed right. Boy, it sucks getting out of flow. I hate cutting those. I really like just zinging through stuff while the iron is kind of up to temperature and all that stuff, but just not happening with this way. So pretty close. Trying to be careful not to hit my resistors over there. Man, I'm getting actually a little bit more comfortable with the microscope view, believe it or not, already. My brain seems to is not freaking out as much right now. As soon as I say it, it'll probably do it more, but I'm starting to figure out. I usually have to look through on the outside to get it in the right zone, though, under the microscope, and then once I can see it through the lens, I'm starting to be able to hit the things again. I'm starting to be able to tell, you know, I guess depths or something. Like I can feel the tip of the solder hit the board, and I can feel the tip of the iron hit the board, so I'm getting a little better there. Like I said, it's been, I don't know, three months or so since I've been soldering like on the daily. Oh, there, we still have this guy in there too. So it's a, you know, like everything, you get like not rusty, but yeah, I guess rusty, a little bit rusty. It still feels fine, but it is a little weird. Okay. I think those are going to look great. Okay, my board wasn't all the way on, so there you go. It's always something, right? It's because of this damn translation of the faceplate. I'm always having this issue, so maybe I screwed this up again. Thought I had that on there like rock solid. Now something's binding on me. Okay, what is the issue here? Yoy. So I definitely bound something. I don't know what's going on. The LEDs look right. There. No, come on, you. I think what might be happening is the LEDs are actually too high. Wait. I think what happened is my faceplate, when I push this, the faceplate pushed down. So, yeah, that sucks. So, I may have to desolder these, the back sides, and push them down a little bit again. Because I think that's what's happening. I think they're, I can't push any further because the pots want to go on, but they can't. And what that's telling me is that the LEDs are actually too far through the holes, which is a good thing because I can loosen these guys up. I think I'm going to just desolder them with a desoldering iron and let them push down. And then I'll be able to, you know, get them in a little bit further and cut them. That sucks though. I screwed up again. Boy, this part's tricky. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to desolder these guys, let them push through, and then tack them in that way. Yeah, let me make sure that's what happened. Yep. That's what happened. These aren't going through far enough. It fell down. The faceplate kind of pushed off as I put it on. I should have, again, I'm rusty. I haven't been doing this a while. I should have done one or done a tack and checked it out, made sure it was okay, and then zinged them all. But of course, I just zinged them all. Now I'm in trouble. Okay, so let's try that. Sure chat has something to say about that. Yeah, no, nothing. Okay. Here we go. Move the mouse out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna move this mouse over here so we don't solder it up. Turn this guy on. Huh. I thought for sure that thing was on there well. But I guess when I was pushing it was enough force that it knocked the faceplate down. Suck. Alright. So it goes. Here, I am going to put the other diopter thing on for this. Here, I'm going to switch back to the other view. This is maybe a little better. There we go. Hold on a second. Still heating? Yeah, it's still heating. It didn't turn red yet. It means it's still heating up. Thank God for the desoldering iron, because it really does the trick. And I left a little leads on there, so this is going to be quite easy, I think. Okay, it says it's ready. Let's try these out. Alright, got those mostly desoldered. It's hard to tell. Well, this one's going to be tricky around the IC holder. I'm going to flip this one around. See if we can get in there without screwing that up. This one, the tip may be actually the wrong size. I may have to change this out. I do see it still kind of clinging there. This might be a bit tricky getting these to desolder. Here, let's try. I think I have a smaller tip. This is a 0.5, I think. Which I think they're going smaller as we go. So let's try that. Turn this thing off. Take this thing off. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Now I got my whole thing out. There we go. Put this guy here. Okay, ooh. Get our 0.5 tip. Where did I stick it? There it is. Gets hot fast. Okay, there we go. Got that in, let that one cool off. Turn this back on. Okay, let's try this one. See if it has a difference here. can't tell. This tip may be even bigger. I assumed that going down in number was going down in size, and I'm not exactly sure that's how these work. Seems about right though. Okay, so I did desolder some, but I can tell that they're still definitely in there, a lot of them. See if I can wiggle some loose. That one definitely came loose, I think. Yeah, that one's loose. See if we can kind of break these loose now. Yeah, this one's loose too. You can feel it. Pull that one up. This one may need shot again. Same with this one. This one feels pretty stuck. That one's, I think one leg is gone, but the other is still there. Not bad. Okay, that one's loose. Okay, good. Try this side. That one came loose. I think I just got that one loose. Oh, wants to fall through, but it is loose. Okay, that one's loose. Usually there's just a bit of solder that, you know, like a little tiny bud that connects to one side or the other, and if you wiggle it, it will kind of pop free. Kind of also being very conscious I don't lift the pad, hopefully. I think I got that one free too. Okay. Maybe this one's free? I don't know, it's hard to tell. They're a bit stuck now because they're falling through, but I know there's a couple over here that need another shot. There, I felt that definitely go. I mean, it's definitely going to go because I'm heating it, but it felt like I really got the bulk out. Yeah, that definitely worked. Okay, so what I need to do now is pull this thing out, see if we can finesse these things, see which ones. Okay, those three are definitely loose. They're all loose on this side. Great. And how about this side? Yeah, we got them all on this side too. Great. Okay, so now, whew, back to square one. How am I going to do this to make sure I don't do this again? I need to sandwich something on here. Maybe I can because as soon as I put this back, it's going to do the same thing. Okay, so we need to do something to get this stuck on there good, so we don't have the same issue. What am I going to use? I have actual clamps, but that's going to be problematic. What can I do easily? Maybe it's just getting something underneath here so the board can actually lay without hitting the ground again. I think that's what needs to happen. Maybe I could use this thing again? I don't know. Nah, that's not great either. Maybe. No. That's not going to work. Well, let's see. Maybe these will be enough. I really don't have something ideal here. I'm going to move this out of the way. Is that going to be enough? Might be. We'll have to really make sure all those pots are through there just perfect. And that this thing is sandwiched right. I also get worried that if I'm doing this, maybe I already, maybe you're going to blow up an LED, maybe you're going to overheat it, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I usually find that these things are pretty resilient, but it's tricky sometimes. So I think that seems good now. Again, I think what I'm going to do now is kind of do it the smart way, and, well, I also want to keep moving it. Now I keep pushing that down. They all seem to want to go further. I feel like I'm falling into the same trap. Are all my pots on there right? As soon as I let this go, I feel like it's going to shift. I think I'm okay. Okay, forget the microscope this time. I'm going old school. I don't want to screw this up. So, I am going to just zing this thing while I have it. Use the microscope for light though. But that felt suspiciously like a cold solder. Just so much solder. Okay. Let's check this thing out. Is this correct? My pots feel right this time. God, I gotta stop making stupid mistakes. Keep doing that on this board. See there, it started to pop out. That's why I don't want to move this too much to keep checking. It keeps popping out too, like the pots will pop out of their positions if you don't hold it just right. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is do the other side here now. If I get these guys going. I think I'm going to zing these. I think we're in position now with the head thing on only. It's much easier for me to navigate the posts, so I'm just going to kind of zing these things. God, I really don't want to have to desolder this again. So I guess that would be my number one recommendation if you're doing one of these DIY builds. Just have a good desoldering iron system, because you usually screw up somewhere. At least I do. Okay, those went back on. I didn't lift any pads or anything. Not the most lovely solders in the world, but not bad. Okay, and finally our LEDs all look pretty uniform. That one at the bottom there is a little bit recessed, but not much at all. I'm gonna call that just fine. Finally, success! We have our LEDs on there. God, that was a nightmare. What happened for anyone else doing this is when I flipped the board, it actually popped off the pots here, and the board fell down. So when I pushed the LEDs, which I thought I was making them flush to the board, I was not. I was actually just pushing them further and further down. And then what happened was when I had everything on, it was impossible to push the faceplate on because the LEDs were too high. Super annoying, but that we did get it right in the end. Okay, which is important. All right, so one thing down. Okay, now next, I guess I have to solve this OLED thing, and I'm not sure how this goes. I have no idea how this goes, actually. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to stop streaming here. I'm going to kill this fan. I'm going to stop streaming. I'm going to go and research just the intricacies of this, because I know like I said, there's this acrylic plate and the OLED display. I want to figure out how if the OLED just floats in there, and how the acrylic plate and all that stuff goes, and just make sure I'm doing the right thing before I screw up again. I don't know why I'm finding this hardware board the trickiest, just because of all the spacing stuff. So I'm going to go do that, and I will be back in a little while, probably stream a little bit this afternoon. Okay. See you later.